Hello, friends. Kelly Harrell here with another edition of Emergency Homeschooling. Today's topic is how to get more done than just schoolwork. And that, my friend, is a difficult one for sure. Have you ever got to the end of the day and you're like, okay, what did I accomplish today? And you kind of can't put a finger on anything. Well, the truth is, homeschooling is super hard for a couple of different reasons. Number one, your kids are around you all the time. Number two, you're either in your house or like before this whole shut in thing, like we were like always on the go because we had so many activities. Um, and number three, your kids are around you all the time. Yes, it's a real serious issue. Now, don't get me wrong. As a homeschool mom of 12 years, I wouldn't have it any other way. But through the years, I've had to find ways to make it possible for me to accomplish more than just schoolwork with my kids, especially because I work full time. So I actually work for a charter school with homeschool parents. So I do have a full time job. I also have a writing career that I wanted to see something happen with. And so I have learned a lot of tips and tricks through the years. So I want to share those with you today. The first rule is make sure to implement life skills. Okay, so if you didn't see my last video on life skills, please go back and watch it. Because here's the thing, if your kids are with you all day long and are not going away to classes every single day, there's absolutely no reason that you need to be doing everything. By the time my kids were 6 years old, they were helping with their laundry. By the time they were 9 years old, they were doing their laundry completely from start to finish. Very important. That right there, if you think about the loads of laundry you do in a day or in a week, that right there will save you time, my friends. Um, Cooking, um, cleaning, all of these other things that stack up that usually weigh on the woman's shoulders. If you're homeschooling, you share that burden with everyone because the truth is, you are spending your time teaching them. You are spending your time correcting their paperwork or helping them, even if they're doing online courses. You are still there and you are spending your time doing that. And so there's no reason that your kids cannot be spending their time and their energy doing more to help the entire family. So, life skills, very important. Implement life skills. Watch that video if you haven't already. Second point. Okay, this is very important. Do not try to cook more than 2 meals in one day. Now, some of you who are new to this whole homeschooling thing might be laughing and saying, "What's that?" Okay, from a homeschool mama perspective, here's the thing, your kids could potentially be home for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 3 meals. I tell you, I have cooked 3 meals before in a day for several days, and I literally felt like I was losing my mind because I felt like all I was doing was feeding these people, right? So here's the thing, you don't need to cook 3 meals a day. I'm not saying your family doesn't need to eat, but you don't need to be cooking them. Now, if you have children under the age of 5, chances are you're going to have to do more of the work. But even at 5, my kids could pour their own cereal and they could make their own sandwiches. Very important. So, what I always do is I determine for each day what meals we are going to eat together. Now, the great thing about homeschooling is we were able to arrange that around my husband's schedule. He was usually working in retail for almost all of our homeschool years. And so his schedule would flip back and forth, working nights, working days, working mornings, whatever. So we very often, when he was on a night schedule, we would do family lunches together. So that was like our big dinner time where I would make, spaghetti or meatloaf or whatever the big meal of the day was, would oftentimes be lunch. And then a lot of times my kids would make their own dinner. Um, Cereal is a wonderful thing. You can even buy super healthy cereal now. I buy my kids some chocolate plant-based cereal that actually has protein in it. So you can look for those good things. You can also, um, I make waffles, and I'll make a double batch of waffles and then I'll freeze my own waffles. So that way I don't even buy frozen waffles. My kids eat their own. Or like if I do a breakfast, a lot of times I'll double up, and so that way, one breakfast like of pancakes will produce leftovers they can have during the week. Okay, so those are all tips for you. Um, a crock pot is also your best friend when we're talking about cooking. Like, seriously, I use my crock pot at least 3 times a week. There are just so many different things you can do in the crock pot. And also be aware of meal planning to make it easier for you. So the other day I made ranch chicken in my crock pot. You do chicken breasts, a stick of cream cheese, and then a packet of ranch, the dry powder ranch dressing. You put that in there and you let it cook until you can shred apart the chicken, and then you can add bacon bits. So that was one meal, but I made enough chicken in the crock pot to have several days of leftovers for sandwiches because it just makes great sandwiches. Um, so Mexican chicken, I'll make chicken in the crock pot for taco night, and then I'll use that chicken for a chicken pot pie, and then I'll also use that chicken for jambalaya. So you can see that seriously limits the amount of time that you're spending in the kitchen actually cooking. um but like I said, don't cook 3 meals in a day. If you do, you need to take the next day off because otherwise you'll be driving yourself crazy. Okay. So teaching your children, this is also where life skills comes in, that you want to teach them how to cook. It's also a great thing if you have older kids like 10 and up to have them take 1 meal a week. Now again, if you're talking about, being home all day long together and preparing and having 3 meals a day that you guys are enjoying together, well, let them pick the meal. I bet your 10-year-old can make pancakes. And so maybe tomorrow, the 10-year-old makes pancakes in the morning. Everyone makes their own sandwiches for lunch, and then you make something for dinner. Wow, you only had to cook once, but your family got fed all day long. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? Um, so that's really important. The next tip goes along with the kitchen. Um, you know what? Some of the best school was done when my kids were in my kitchen, or we're really fortunate to have a setup where my kitchen is open and we have the kitchen table and then we have the family room. So I can be in the kitchen, I can be cooking, I can be doing dishes, I can be doing whatever I need to be doing in the kitchen, and I have view of both kids. So my next tip is have hours where the kids, if they need you to be accessible to them, then they need to be where you are at so that you can get things done. Okay. If that means, your student is doing math on the computer, let's say, and you need to do laundry, but they might need a little bit of support in math because math is not their strong subject. Well, maybe figure out where can your student be on the computer doing their math while you're folding laundry. Do you get what I'm doing? So that way you're not necessarily sitting right next to them, but you're in close proximity. Don't have to be more than 6 feet away. You're in the same family. Okay, let's just be real. If anyone in your house gets sick, no one's going anywhere. So make time where you can be in close proximity to them, but you can be completing the chores you need to do. Um, like I said, I had the privilege of having one kid work on the couch and one kid work at the kitchen table, and I could be in the kitchen prepping for dinner around 1 o'clock. Not that we ate that early, but that way I was accessible to both of them um, while I was getting something done. Okay. And the reason you want to do this is you also need you time. So, my next tip is make sure to incorporate um, you time, me time, into your schedule every single day. Every single day. Now, you might say, oh, Kelly, that's just not even possible right now. You know what? I took a shower today for me. I did not do my hair yet. I just kind of did my bangs that are getting really long. Um, but I wanted to take a shower today because, okay, let's be honest, as a homeschool mama, there are days that I don't get a shower. Yesterday was one of those days. It just didn't happen. Um, but I wanted to get a shower today. So I was like, you know what? I'm taking a shower and I know I have to do this video. I don't care whether or not I do my hair. It's okay. But you need to have time for you every single day. What that does is that gives you a sense of peace and a sense of accomplishment. One of the ways that I have used my me time is to develop my writing skills. So it's important to have time for yourself every day. Now, can I be honest with you? Let's just not call a 10-minute devotion in the morning you time. And let's not call 10 minutes in the bathroom playing on your phone you time. Okay? I'm talking about doing something for yourself that kind of goes a little above and beyond. Um, what did I do this morning for me? Number one, I went and I got myself Starbucks because my barista's out driving other people and I needed a little something. So, what I've been doing in the mornings when he's not home, my me time is driving to Starbucks and I put on a sermon from Beth Moore because I love to listen to her. And I listen to that while I'm waiting in line for 15 minutes. But it's me time because it's something I want to do. It's something that fills me up and it's something that makes me feel better. And then I came home and I was finishing up the sermon, and you know what? It was so good, and it was part 4 of 5-part sermon. So I decided I want to finish it. And I thought about my schedule, and I knew today there was not a lot pressing. So I went ahead and I listened to the next schedule, to the next sermon. And while I was doing it for a while, I was working on the puzzle that my family's doing together because I wanted to do that. And then I sat down and I started taking notes on it. So, you guys, do not cheat yourself out of time for you. And this is why. If you do, it will make you a very bitter and unhappy person. I used to work with a friend who loved to take a bath every single night. I have never been that kind of person. I do not find that relaxing, but she used to do that every single night. If taking a bath, a bubble bath is your thing, start doing it. Start doing it. Make that time for yourself every single day. If you enjoy journaling or if you enjoy drawing or coloring, do it for yourself. Set aside that time, 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes every single day, just for you. And it's okay to tell your kids, this is mommy's me time. I need you to go do this because I need to do something for me because it makes me a happy mommy. Um, so I started to say one of the things I did for my me time was writing because I really wanted to develop that gift that God had given me. And you know what? During this time where we're shut in, and you are constantly surrounded by your people, I encourage you to really think about what gift do you have that you want to develop? Do you have a gift for photography that you really want to develop? Then you know what? Spend 20 minutes a day taking pictures or spend 20 minutes a day doing Photoshop because you know what? That could turn into something potentially that could be a moneymaker for your family. If it's writing, spend 20 minutes a day writing. Um, if you just love to read, spend 20 minutes a day reading, or maybe whatever skill you have, like if you want to be a writer, if that's something you've always wanted to do, then maybe your me time right now looks like reading books about writing so that you can learn to do it better. You are blessed right now. You're blessed. You're blessed right now with the time and the opportunity um, to really, to really cultivate whatever gift you have. You know why? Because right now there are no sports. Right now there are no PTA meetings. Maybe you have a virtual one. Um, right now, so much has slowed down. You know, my kid has no parkour lessons. She has no horseback riding. She has no volunteering. She did start driving a while but ago, so I don't have to drive her places anyways. But so much in our lives has just kind of stopped. So instead of parking yourself in front of the TV, do something creative, do something that you have felt a nudging or a calling to do, and start to hone that. Um, I when we first started homeschooling, my husband was working almost exclusively nights. So the kids were little. And back in the day, their bedtime was before 8 o'clock even. It was like 7:30, right? So by 7:30, I would have both the kids in bed and I would sit down and I would start writing. And there would be some times that my husband would come home like at 11:30, and I had been writing that entire time. I made myself a pact back in the day when I wanted to improve as a writer that I absolutely would not watch TV unless I was watching it with someone else in the family. So when I was blessed with that time all by myself, I really made use of it. Um, 8 books later, I gotta tell you, I don't regret it. I don't regret any of it. I am so thankful that I spent time doing something that I enjoyed, that in the process also helped de stress me, because I've been able to write these books and share these stories with people and touch people's lives. And you know what else it did? Okay, this is the crazy part because I never meant to do this. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. It has taught my kids that they can pursue their dreams and they can achieve their dreams with time and with hard work. Friends, life is about more than just school. Life is about connections. Life is about making your dreams come true. Life is about relationships. Um, so I really encourage you. One of the things you need to do is make time for yourself. And you need to do that which fills you up and which is within your heart. Because that is also going to be such a witness to your kids of how they should live their lives. At the end of the homeschool day, the number one priority has been not have I taught my kids enough facts, but have I inspired my kids to learn? And have I inspired my kids to live their lives in a better way? 12 years of homeschooling, and I've published 8 books in those 12 years. Like, who would have thought, right? My 9th one hopefully is coming out this fall. Crazy stuff. But life doesn't have to be just about getting schoolwork done. The other thing, the other tip in making sure you do more than just homeschool, accomplishing more than just schooling, is to make sure that you have a connection, that you make a connection with each one of your kids every single day. I have a thing with my kids when they would go to classes, I would never say, "How was class?" Because, the automatic response is usually good or boring, or, I mean, honestly, they loved all their homeschool classes because they were just more like fun to them, because we did academics at home. So instead, what I would say is, tell me about your class, or what's something that you did in your class today. Change the conversations that you have with your kids. Now is a great time to just sit with your kid and say, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on inside of that head of yours. Um, Read books together with your kids and have discussions about it. Have discussions about what you're hearing on the news, or have discussions about what you're learning while you're teaching them. Um, I really, really encourage you in this time. You will feel like you have done more than just schooling when you make a connection with each one of your kids every day. And sometimes, well, most of the time, that means putting your phone aside and looking them in the face and just listening. Just listening. Asking them questions and listening to their answers. My favorite part of being a mom to my oldest, I'm sorry. Gosh, they get older and I don't know, you just get all emotional. What I love the most about my 18-year-old is, like, he literally tells me almost everything. He shares his life with me. And up until a week ago, he was away at college, like most kids. And then we got the notice while he was on spring break that he needed to move back home. They were shutting the dorms. But the transition for him going to college was super hard for me because, like, I told people I never even took the kid to kindergarten, like, we homeschooled. He has just been mine, and we have done this together, and we grew such a bond. When he started driving and he would be he would be out late, he would come home, and at that time my husband was working really funky late hours, and so Noah would always be home before midnight, and he would come in and he would lay on my bed with me and he would tell me all about his day. I loved it. So when we went to college, it was so sad because I thought that was going to end. Um, and I got to tell you, the first semester it was kind of hit and miss because he had a lot of classes. He was a science major. It was really hard for him. So we didn't communicate a lot. I did talk to him at least every other week. But starting second semester, when things started slowing down, like, the coolest thing happened. He would just call me randomly and say, "Mom, do you have time to talk? I just want to tell you about my day." Again, if your school kid has been in public school, you spend less time with them than you are now. Right now, you have this great opportunity to start to cultivate that with your children. I don't care how old they are, but you have that time and you have that opportunity, and I encourage you to take it and run with it, because there is nothing like your 18-year-old boy calling you from college saying, "Mom, can I please share my day with you? Do you have time?" Oh, that makes my mama's heart so happy. And I know my girl will do it too, because we're just two peas in a pod and we talk about everything together. And, here's the thing too, especially if you have teenagers or preteens, the way that you build that, if you have not built that relationship with them, is you have to share about your life too. You have to share about your struggles. Now's a good time to talk to your kids about Where were you during 9/11? What was that like? What was 9/11 like for you? How were you feeling not knowing what was going to happen? Because that could be a lot of what's going on with them. Ours was a lot more short term. The other thing that I've talked to my kids about is I was in junior high when the Challenger shuttle exploded, and I still remember like the grief and the sorrow to watch all of these people just in an instant, they were gone. And to be watching that, talk to your kids. Talk to them about the good times. Talk to them about happy memories. Talk to them about your experiences, the good ones and the hard ones, because that helps them to see the importance of cultivating relationships with others. That gives them permission to open up their hearts and share with you. So, I hope this video was helpful for you. It's not just about getting the work done. At the end of the day, being a homeschool mom, you have to also keep your sanity. So be about that. Make sure you're not cooking too much. Share the life skills with others. Make sure to spend time, set aside time for yourself. Start cultivating some of those gifts and talents that you have right now, because you can. You have that opportunity. And you know what? Also, just spend time connecting with your kids every single day. Every day. And it might be around the dinner table. You know, if you eat dinner or lunch with the TV on, I encourage you, just shut it off. Just shut it off right now. You don't need it on. It's just a distraction from what's most important. We don't eat any meals, hardly ever, with the TV on, because it's all about connecting. It's all about spending time together. And that's what's going to draw your family closer to each other. And you know what? Gosh, at the end of it all, when all of this is lifted and all of this is over and the coronavirus is just a not so happy memory, wouldn't it be great to say, but you know what? I came out of that more connected to my kids and my husband than ever before. Yeah. Homeschooling is about more than school. And you can make it happen. You have the ability to make it happen. Thanks for watching.